If you're someone who's trying to lose weight and it doesn't matter what you do, you don't seem to be having any success whatsoever, the extra weight doesn't want to shift, your motivation goes up and down along with your mood, and you are constantly frustrated because you wish you could change your body shape but it just doesn't seem to want to happen for you, then this video is for you. Today I'm going to be taking you through 10 top mindfulness tips to keep you on the right track in terms of your weight loss goals, to show you what to do and how to stay focused on losing weight to keep the right behaviours and habits in place long term. Let's get started. Tip number 1 is stop searching for motivation and instead focus on becoming more disciplined with your fitness habits. Okay, now this is an interesting one for me because as a fitness coach, people ask me all the time, how do I get more motivated for things? And the reality is, motivation doesn't come first at the start of your fitness journey. In fact, motivation is normally quite low at the very beginning because everything seems really difficult, it seems really tough to achieve, you've got this big mountain to climb. The right thing to do instead is to put disciplined behaviours in place that you adhere to consistently. Once you start exercising regularly, once you start eating healthily, and more importantly, once you start seeing your initial results and you start to achieve things that you otherwise didn't believe that you could, that is when you're going to start feeling more motivated. So focus on consistency, focus on being disciplined, and motivation will come in time. Tip number 2, trying to fast track your weight loss results will almost always end in some form of self-sabotage. Starting off with the promise that you're going to be exercising every single day of the week, that you are going to cut out all sugary treats, you're going to reduce your portion sizes down, you're not going to have any more alcohol on the weekends, you're going to be getting to bed early, you're going to be drinking loads of water. Does this sound familiar to you at all? These are the things that people often promise themselves when they start out motivated at the start of their fitness journey, especially when it comes down to losing weight. The reality is that building muscle and losing weight is a slow process. It takes time. My suggestion would be start with small, achievable and realistic goals based on a time frame. Now, everybody loses weight at different rates and there is no linear path to fitness, which I'll be coming to a bit later on in this list. But if you aim for a realistic weight loss of about £1 a week, work out how many weeks it will take for you to lose your target weight, and then just gently approach your workout plan and your dietary plan with consistency but room to breathe. Allow yourself a little bit of what you like, but do stick to your calorie goals and work out just a couple of times a week to introduce the habit. Consistency here is much better than diving in head first. Tip number 3, a calorie deficit is key to reduce body fat. Okay, now do bear in mind, on this note, 70% of the results that you want to see come from what you eat and what is on your plate, as opposed to the exercise that you do. Now, I can't stress that enough. More often than not, people come to me as a personal trainer and they come to the gym with the intention of losing weight in the gym. And the reality is, weight loss comes from what you put on your plate and the way that you eat and your relationship with food. So, track your calories. Make sure you're within your calorie goal every single day. Stay in a deficit consistently for a long period of time and you will achieve the weight loss that you want to achieve. Don't get on the treadmill with false expectations without adjusting your diet plan first. Tip number 4, when exercising, focus on doing resistance training. As we bring our body fat down, what we want to see is muscle definition underneath, and we want to see muscle that's firm, we want to see muscle that's well defined, we want to improve our body shape. Now, cardio in itself doesn't do that, and eating in itself doesn't do that. Even if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight, but you won't build and tone your muscles. So when you're exercising, you must focus on doing resistance training for the best results. Doing resistance training will tone your muscles, it will strengthen your body, it will make your muscles appear firmer, it will give your body the ability to do more exercise-wise, and as you get stronger, your body will look better. Tip number 5, add cardiovascular training to your routine if it's centric to your goal. Okay, now this next tip might sound a bit contradictory to my last point, which was to prioritize doing resistance training. You should be doing cardiovascular training if it's centric to your goal, and here's a couple of examples of how that might be the case for you. If you're someone that's very, very sedentary and you have the intention of moving more and getting more steps into your day, cardio is a great way to do that. You can get a lot of steps into a very short period of time if you're fit enough to do sustainable exercise. So that's one massive benefit. If you're looking to get aerobically better conditioned, to look after your heart, to work on your fitness, cardio is a great complement to doing resistance training. Tip number 6, For optimal results, you only need to be exercising between 3 and 4 times per week. Okay, so now we're back to that point I made earlier on where people often think that more is better. People are often of the mindset that if I exercise every single day, that's got to be better for me, that's going to help increase my fitness. Surely that's the right thing to do. And the reality is it's not. And I'm going to explain why very quickly. When you factor in exercise when you're just starting out, particularly if you're a beginner, it's not about how much you can do in your workout. It's about how much your body can actually recover from. So the smart way to move forward is you have to bear in mind that no one actually gets fit inside the gym. You get fit from doing the work in the gym, which breaks your body down, and then it's rest and it's nutrition that then builds your body back up and allows you to recover from your workouts. So with that in mind, exercising 3 to 4 times a week gives you enough chance to push your body hard, but then gives you enough time to recover properly. That is what makes a sustainable exercise plan successful over a very long period of time. Tip number 7. For optimal weight loss, focus on your NEAT activity as opposed to going to the gym. NEAT activity is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Now the clue in what that means is in the non-exercise part. NEAT activity is basically everything you do outside of structured exercise. And if you are someone that's very sedentary and your activity levels are very small, increasing the amount of physical activity you do in that time, non-exercise physical activity, can tremendously increase the amount of calories that you burn on a day-to-day basis, more so than the 3 hours a week that you will prioritize at the gym. So for optimal weight loss results, focus on small daily changes which will increase your activity, such as using the stairs instead of taking the lift, opting to walk instead of driving, just generally being more mindful about moving your body on a day-to-day basis. Tip number 8, choose action instead of overthinking. Now this is a common problem with people that are normally just starting out on their fitness journey or are kind of in this contemplation stage where they're thinking about losing weight. They're really kind of focused on it, but they're not quite in the mindset yet of getting started. They know what they need to do, but they're not quite ready to get going with it yet. And this is from experience where people's heads go. I know I need to be exercising, but I couldn't possibly train every day because I just haven't got the time. But the kids won't eat what I need to eat. My husband doesn't want to eat salad and fresh food, so how am I going to manage to do that? Or I'm so stressed and busy at work, I haven't got the energy to start working out. So what happens is we tend to overthink problems rather than actually physically taking action. You only really need to start with one action which you need to be consistent with every single day, and that one action is to put yourself inside a calorie deficit and stay there. One action, one objective every day. Don't overthink it. Tip number 9, instead of making promises to yourself, make commitments. Now this tip here falls in line in terms of mindfulness with the last tip. Overthinking problems and making promises to yourself. I promise myself I'll start next week. I can't start this week, I'm far too busy, but I'll start next week. And you make these promises to yourself, but the challenge is tomorrow never comes and that goal just keeps getting pushed back and back and back and nothing tangible and consistent ends up happening. So instead of making promises to yourself, make commitments, and there is a difference between the two. And my suggestion would be to do that one of 2 ways. The first way to make a commitment is to plan it, to diarise it, put it in your diary, make it something tangible that you will do, that you have put down in words, that you have stuck into your diary, and make sure that you stick to that plan. The second thing to do, which actually is quite useful, is tell people what you intend to do. Tell people, I am going to go to the gym on Saturday. I want you to ask me about how it went, because that then makes you accountable to other people. So you could talk to your husband, your wife, your best friend, even the kids, anybody at all. Tell them what your intentions are, ask them to follow up with you after you've done it, and that will help keep you accountable to that objective. And finally, tip number 10, stay mindful of the fact there is no linear path to losing weight, getting fitter, and ultimately feeling happier. Let's be honest, if we dig down a little bit to why we're doing all this stuff in the first place, why you're exercising regularly, why you want to lose weight, why you are staying focused on staying in a calorie deficit, if you ask yourself what is the why, ultimately at some stage you come down to an emotional reason. It's often confidence, it could be to feel better, it could be you want to feel more empowered. It doesn't really matter what it is, but it will almost definitely be an emotionally driven goal. Now that is what you need to stay focused on, because no one ever in human nature Very rarely, certainly in my experience, it's extremely rare. In 25 years I've been coaching people, it is extremely rare for a sedentary individual to change their dietary habits, start exercising, and then consistently, week after week, month after month, lose weight consistently without plateauing and without deviation, and build muscle at the same time, without life getting in the way, and then achieve their target and then maintain that without any interruption whatsoever. It almost never happens. In fact, I can't say it's ever happened in the 25 years I've been coaching people. Human nature doesn't work like that. Things will get in the way of your objectives and your plans and the results you want to see. Birthdays, Christmases, holidays, family drama, work issues, financial crisis, all of these kinds of things get in the way. It's life, it happens. But the most important thing is how you manage moving forward towards your emotionally driven goals in spite of these things. So a couple of quick tips. First thing is never quit. Never ever give up. Because you are important and the things that you want to achieve and your feelings about yourself are massively important. So never quit on what you want to achieve. But you are allowed planned relapses. It's okay to say, you know what, I really can't face the gym today, when you really can't. When you're too tired, you're too stressed and you just cannot do it. Don't make yourself, because then you'll start to resent it and you won't enjoy the process anymore. And if you fancy a little treat, and sometimes we do, sometimes we need a little bit of comfort when life is tough, allow yourself a little bit of comfort, but treat it as what I call a planned relapse. And that is, allow yourself what you want, or give yourself permission to not go to the gym and do exercise, but plan when you are going to then start again. So it might be the next day, it might be on the Monday, it might be a certain period of time after your holiday or whatever, but do make sure that you get back on the horse and never ever quit long term, because you are worth more than that, and the things you want to achieve are of massive importance, and giving up on your routine means giving up on your dream, and you should never do that. And that concludes our top 10 mindfulness tips for today. I hope you found this video useful. As always, if you have, please do hit the like button, because it's a great way of supporting the channel. If you've enjoyed the content and you'd like to see more, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell to see all future updates on new content that I post. And until then, I will look forward to seeing you in my next video. You take care.